again. Good talking to your audience again. I want to preface this with a good airborne to you.
Airborne.
This is a fairly sensitive topic.
Right.
So it's important for your listeners to understand we're here to tell a story of what's going on right now inside the Montgomery Police Department. This is not a pretty story. And some of your readers or your listeners are not going to enjoy it. Others will take great glee in it, but that's not our purpose. As you know, I have represented Montgomery police officers and police officers. I currently represent criminal defendants. I do divorces. I have a big practice. But part of my practice has always been to protect the rank and file police officers from Birmingham to Mobile. I represent through the Prattville Police Union, the PBA, the FOP. I represent police officers when they get in trouble with their departments, when they get sued, and as you know, sometimes when they get charged with criminal violations of the law. I make that part of my practice because, one, I believe in policing. Even though I'm a criminal defense attorney, I believe that we still have to have law in our society. And the men and women that serve our community and serve in law enforcement deserve to be protected. But when they do wrong, they deserve to be punished. The same thing goes for the administration. And we're here today to talk about the administration in the Montgomery Police Department. It's sad that it's come to this point, but it's just the reality of the world that we live in. Now, I was asked to represent this young lady. Her name is Miss Renee Helton. She's a Montgomery police officer. Now, this young woman, she hails, and make sure I'm correct here, she hails from Arizona.
Yes, sir.
She was recruited to come to Montgomery as the Montgomery Police Department is having a hard time recruiting officers, and they've gone nationwide in recruiting. This young lady, you're going to love this. She's former military.
Well,
She was a graduate of the Air Assault School.
Really?
yes.
Almost airborne.
Almost.
Okay.
She, you and I and those who have served as paratroopers, people in the military have to have someone to look up to.
Yeah.
So people in Air Assault look up to us.
Look up to us. Right, okay, it's good.
We thank her for her service.
Yes, we do.
She is also a former semi-pro basketball player.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, that is an amazing resume. A mother of 2 children,
Yes, sir.
single mother. She was recruited and came to Montgomery Police Department, and she has been with us now for a couple of years. And we are not here to disperse anyone's character. We're going to simply tell you the truth as the story evolves. Miss Helton.
Speak a little bit too, so people can hear, because I can't. You're such a
I'm sorry.
smoking guy.
Well, it's a microphone thing.
Yeah.
Miss Helton,
Something went wrong.
Officer
Please try
Helton.
again.
Oh,
That's Siri.
we good? Okay.
Yeah, Siri gets involved in conversations all the
I
time.
understand. Well, technology is beyond all of us. I have to get my neighbor's kids to program my TV and stuff, use the remote control. Officer Helton was approached by the current chief of police in a business and a professional manner through the department. And unfortunately, things took a ugly turn. And she will speak to an uncomfortable situation that arose between her and the chief. She made a decision to break off a relationship. And when she did, the department came after her. Not because she was a bad police officer, not because she was a bad person, not because she was a bad mother, but because she would not participate in an adulterous affair. Because of that, she became targeted. And we'll be able to prove all of this when we get to multiple courts of law, and that's where these cases are headed. She became the target of people in power. And unfortunately, when people are in power, they sometimes misuse the system. This is a victim of a system that's not serving her well. When she complained about how she was being treated because she would not have this illicit affair, everything was done to destroy her. She took her complaints through her chain of command. She delivered to the city of Montgomery proof that she was being targeted because she would not violate the sanctity of our chief's marriage. She would not participate in that behavior. There's a young man in this room who is her fiance. When the chief found out about this young man, it just became worse. She took her complaints as she is a city employee through her chain of command. She took these same complaints with documents to the mayor's office. We just had our state of the city address last night. Sorry, we didn't mention this little problem. No one from the city of Montgomery has reached out to help this city employee. And that's why I'm here, because I am a citizen of this community. I'm a taxpayer. I am a former Montgomery police officer and a former employee of the city county personnel system. We don't treat our employees this way. We don't target our daughters because this is someone's daughter. We don't treat them this way. We don't allow people in power to mistreat our city employees because they won't have affairs with them. We don't fire city employees because they won't have affairs with us. We don't use our power to destroy a single mother with 2 children and who moved across this nation to serve this community. We have policies, procedures, rules. We have police officers who are fired for misconduct because they tell jokes on the radio. We've had police officers who have been fired because they got drunk and they stripped and went in a swimming pool at an apartment complex. I've represented those officers at their termination hearings, trying to get their jobs back. I'm representing this young lady who's trying to get her job back in spite of everything that the city has done to her, in spite of the fact that they have done nothing to protect her from a predator. And that's what is leading the Montgomery Police Department here today. And it is a shame. And the city should be ashamed. Our city leaders should be ashamed. Our mayor has done nothing to protect a female citizen and a female employee under his command. Because at the end of the day, the chief of police is her commander, but the mayor is her commander as well. The chief of police's conduct, that's going to have to be addressed at the city council, at the mayor's office. And when we get done here, we're going to address this at her personnel hearing, because we're going to have a personnel hearing. Mm-hmm. And when we get done there, we're going to be in the United States federal court. We're going to have some hearings there too. In other words, buckle up, because here we come.
Now, let me ask the question that everybody is going to ask, and I don't have, again, I'm neutral because I don't know what's going on. I know what you tell me. How do we know this is not some vengeance against the chief because y'all had a disagreement?
Fair question. Absolutely fair question. Officer Helton, how do you answer that question? People on the radio can't see that file folder.
Okay. So there's no vengeance. It's strict. Can you hear me now?
A little bit.
A little bit.
I'm pretty sure you can talk louder than that, though.
I feel like I'm screaming.
Oh, that's because the headphones are
okay.
Okay.
No, there's no vengeance whatsoever. I have morals and respect for myself, and any time I get in a position or want to achieve another position, I'm going to earn that position. I'm not going to steer away from my morals or the respect for myself or respect to somebody else's marriage. This is strictly, this Chief Daryl Albert wanted to have sex with me, wanted to engage in a sexual relationship with me, and every time he would make a comment, he would revert back to, oh, I know you just want to be professional. So you know that I'm not leading you on. You know that I have no intentions to sleep with you, but you steady keep pushing the envelope. You tell me to come to your house. You tell me you're going to lean over and kiss me at the Faulkner benefit dinner. You told me to open up my legs so you could put your hands in there and feel what you're going to feel. You told me you wanted to be all up in me, on me, and over me, and I would be honored to sleep with him, that I would go crazy if I sleep with him. This is no vengeance. This is strictly a monster that was brought from New Orleans with the same allegations, with the same charges, and brought here by the mayor who knew this. The mayor received an email, text messages, and EOC complaint on August 4th of 2023. Not only did the mayor receive it, but Chip Hill received it, and the lady next to her, underneath Chip Hill. They all received this August 4th. City investigator Bill Bruce knew about this because Chief Barnes opened the investigation against Chief Albert. So they all know. The whole chain of command knows about this. But yet this man is allowed to be in charge of the Montgomery Police Department. This is who you're telling me is the standard, is who we should be led by?
Kevin, I want to point out that we have reached out to the media since the initial filings,
Yep.
and I give you credit because you are the only one who will let her speak. You're the only one who has given her a platform. And be honest, we've gone to AOL.com. We've gone to WSFA. They've interviewed her. They have the documents. They've done nothing. Their relationship with the mayor and the city is more important than journalism. Their relationship is more important than the truth. We thank you for giving this young woman a platform.
Absolutely.
And I don't understand what they have to fear unless they don't want to interfere with their relationship with the city, because maybe it's more important if you're work for WSFA that you get invited to the lunches, the teas, and the grand openings than it is to be journalist. So, and that's unfortunate because this is a cancer we have to fix. It has to be cured. And I'm sorry, but this is bad. This is bad, looks bad. It is bad. We are having difficulty keeping Montgomery police officers. We all know that. It's a hard job. It's a tough job. It's a dangerous job. And with the way our society has treated police officers in the last few years, you're not getting very good candidates. You're having to go to Arizona to recruit. And then when you bring them here, this young lady, and you can tell your audience, and I'll be honest with you, this is an attractive, young, African Latino woman. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, African.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. Let me ask you a question.
Did you just fall off a turnip truck, Kevin?
Let me ask you a question. You have proof of all of these
Absolutely.
things.
Yes, sir.
Why do you believe, in your mind, with the help of your attorney, that if what you say is true,
Yes, sir.
I have no idea, that's between you guys, why would the mayor not, or Chip or anybody else, not engage you in a conversation about this?
So I've been told by the city investigator, 2 city investigators, when I filed a complaint, that the city is always going to protect the city. So in this aspect, they see a lawsuit. They see that this man came from New Orleans with these same charges, and now is doing it again. Now a predator. And Chief Daryl Albert told me that he got the job not because he's a frat brother, not because he's a Q, but because he's the mayor's cousin.
Well, I mean, people being related to people don't necessarily ostensibly make them disqualified for the job. So
Don't make you disqualified, but it also hinders and blurs your vision when you see that your cousin is doing wrong, that your cousin was demoted. There's multiple articles where the article talks about Daryl Albert as chief deputy. And then the next article, it says chief superintendent. Then the next article says captain. I pulled up the New Orleans rank structure. That went from top to third to fifth. Obviously, something's going on.
I know about promotions.
Yeah, I mean, that don't sound like a promotion to me.
Okay,
Well,
but have you had the opportunity to
and
talk
that's
to
really not our issue.
Okay.
Our issue is we have a city employee who has utilized the city chain of command, reported an incident, and instead of being assisted, investigated, it has been retaliated against her. She has been terminated. I'll be honest with you. They fired her.
No, not only do they fire me, but after the mayor received these text messages and the EEOC complaint from even Stacy Bellinger, who is the city legal who represents him, she communicated with my lawyers. But even after receiving that, on November 29th, 3 police officers pulled up to my house and fired me in front of my kids at 6 o'clock at night. You had all day. You could have called me on my phone to tell me to bring my stuff in. But you guys pull up to intimidate me, to big boy me, to let me know I know where you live and I'm going to do this in front of your kids. We do not care about you. Fired me in front of my kids at dinner.
Let me ask you a question, Mickey. Is that the normal operating procedure to fire police?
I've never heard of
Normally
it.
you bring them in. You know, as you know, I've probably marched 50 police officers down to the department to turn in their weapon, to turn in their uniforms. I actually drove one. We drove to the police academy, turned in the weapon, we had a supply. We took in all the uniforms. I had one police officer years ago who was going to be arrested, and they came to his house, and we turned over all of his equipment there at the house to his supervisor. But that was just his supervisor. And this was an officer being arrested. This is an officer, a female officer who's being fired. They sent 3 police officers to her home, armed police officers, to take her weapon and her uniforms. You don't tell me that that's not the norm. Come on. I want to see that in the policy and procedures
Let
manual.
me take a call. Somebody wants to talk to you. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning.
Thank you. Good talking to you, sir. And thank you for your service to our community for all those years. And I have to agree with Steve. I've been called over the years to go to police officers' homes when they were going to be arrested, and on a number of occasions. And, you know, it's myself and a senior commander. We would usually meet them in a private place, turn them in, or so they would come to my office. But this behavior, this SWAT tactic of coming to her home in front of her children, that's just uncalled for. And that's just another example of what we think is a pattern of retaliation.
We got to take a break. We'll be back. We also have somebody else in the studio with us, too, who actually used to work for the Montgomery Police Department. So we'll ask him a couple of questions. Are all of these things we hear, SOP, standard operating procedure of police, or maybe, how long were you a policeman?
18 years.
Okay, so you know the deal. Okay, we'll be back right after this.
All right, you're up next.
Sorry, I got angry, huh?
You did okay.
I get angry too. But I gotta be neutral.
Yeah,
Not really, but
that's it. That's the Kevin Elkins I know, voice of neutrality.
hey, so did you retire or you just
No,
No.
I ended up resigning because of once Albert found out that me and her was talking, then that's when they started to come attack me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a forensic scientist or anything like that, but I'm gonna follow this one.
You don't have to miss a second of your favorite talk show at home or at work. Listen on your smart speaker, on your Alexa.
Where can people go to listen to this again?
News Radio 1440.
So if you
Or
want to
1440 AM. if you're in town.
1440 a.m. on the radio, you can hear it live, and you can go onto Google and put in News Radio 1440
It's also
and click on the
available
link.
on Alexa, because I listen to it
And
on
it's
Alexa.
also available on Alexa AM
And I'm also gonna post it on my
1440.
later on.
He said he will also put it on the podcast later on.
Kevin,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's nearly 100 text messages here.
Wait, let me tell you guys something. If I'm not here in the morning,
Look, let me be clear about it. Yes, I'm not, and this is no like bringing up this stuff, but there has been cars outside my house, and I had to go inside and tell Marcus, "Hey, there's a car outside. I've never seen this car before, and it's getting your plate. It's just keeps looking up and down at your plate." Soon as Marcus walks outside, drives off. It's too late. I already got your car, already got your face, and I recorded your tag.
Oh, well, give that to me later on.
Oh, yeah,
this
absolutely.
is news to me.
This just happened.
I've got a private
Yes, sir.
detective. I was just
Okay. Yeah. So and then the other day we had some other cars parked outside our house, and then somebody was pretending to go through the trash can at my neighbor's house, but then when my dad pulls up, they get startled and like vanish. So it's like, why are you over there where my window's at? Like, it's just strange behavior that's never happened.
okay then. Well, since you're a member, almost a member of the Airborne Squad.
Oh, you better hush.
We got
I called her a leg on a string.
yeah, that's what it is. But listen, there ain't too many legs on a string that are females out there that I've
Yeah,
got.
I mean,
Yeah,
I loved it. Air assault, you got to run 12 miles with 100 pounds, and it's like this. You got to do 12 miles in 3 hours, and the course is 10 days. There's no days off, so it's like a constant. You got to do 6 miles in an hour and a half with 100 pounds and a rifle. So it's not like you get to run like this. You have to run like this. You know what I'm saying? And then.
Well, if you go through NCO Academy in Germany, We had to do that.
My,
And the women were in Baltimore. And we had a 90-grade hill, and guys just falling down, and then women going up that hill. I said, wait a minute, I may have to die because ain't no woman gonna outdo me up this hill. So I kept on going. But I saw women making guys look bad.
Look, if I could do anything, it would go airborne. I would love
Let
to
me
go airborne.
let me tell you one right.
I love it.
Let me slow you down for a second. Okay.
This is State Health Officer Dr. Scott Harris.
We served in the 275th Second Range Battalion.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm 101 Screaming Eagles.
Well,
Yeah.
but they ain't here.
Yeah. Look. He knows. He knows.
101 ain't
Look,
been airborne since World War II.
We're air assault. We're air assault.
air assault,
But we're Screaming Eagles. You can't hate on 101. Everyone knows
No, we ain't
101.
hate, we ain't
Okay,
hate
see?
but it's still wear that airborne tag up there.
Just remember, it's okay for us to rack on you.
Yeah.
But if anybody outside,
Yeah.
who ain't worn
Oh, we're
uniform,
all together,
Yeah,
right?
we're-
Yeah.
We'll open up and whoop ass.
Look, they disown me in the house.
Yeah, but
we in the streets.
Yeah, we kind of like family, you know. When the police come over, the man can be whipping your tail. But first thing they're going to do, don't hit him.
Kevin, let me introduce him.
Okay. And we are back. Our guest this morning is Attorney at Law Mickey McDermott, the former United States Army Airborne Ranger, and other things that I can't tell you about that I heard. But I ain't going there. Anyway, so we got a young man in the house at the moment that's here to corroborate some of the things that Miss what's your last name again?
Helton.
Miss Helton saying. So go ahead and
Good morning again, Kelvin. Thank you for your time.
Mm-hmm.
Young man, would you tell the audience what your name is?
Marcus Webster.
Mr. Webster, what have you done for the last 18 years?
I was a member of the Montgomery Police Department.
What did you do in the department?
Wow, that's a long laundry list. I was a supervisor over a patrol, was part of the narcotics unit, was supervisor down in the river, part of the some of our task forces with the FBI, just liaisons between the two.
You're a Montgomery native?
Yes, sir.
Born and bred?
Born and bred.
Where'd you go to school at?
Robbie Lee High School.
it ain't the same school now. I'll let you know.
You left the department, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
When'd you leave?
The first of the year. What's my last day?
This year?
Yeah, December
29th.
29th.
Really?
Yes, sir.
After 18 years.
Yes, sir.
What made you leave?
Just the targeting from the department and the command staff, the constant attacks at the helm of the chief once he found out that me and Renee was talking. That's when the attack started.
And for the audience, you are engaged to this beautiful young woman, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
When did y'all become engaged?
December
Oh, you better
5th.
remember this.
December 5th.
Yes. But we became engaged on December 5th, but we had been talking.
Yeah, that's a new thing. We're old school. It's called dating.
Dating. Yes, we was
Okay.
dating.
During the time, when did you start dating?
Around April.
She's asking the question, answering the questions for you.
Those are dates. You know, women know those.
I guess my point is, at some point in time, she revealed to you what was going on between her and the chief, didn't she?
Correct.
What did you observe as far as from the way the department was treating her and you when it became public knowledge that you were a couple?
Everything started to shift. Like, I've never had a conversation with the chief, but once that got out, he started to do things to personally attack me or have his command staff come out to me in reference to different issues that were going on.
So 18 years of wonderful service to this community because you are dating a woman that rejected the chief of police's sexual advances on the job
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
cost Montgomery your 18 years worth of service.
Yes, sir.
Aren't we proud?
Now, are you now policing any place else, or
No, sir. No, sir.
so you don't give up 18 years?
No. I, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. Going through that, like that department is at this moment very toxic with its leadership, and I just really just wanted to take a time to kind of decompress and kind of focus back on me, because when you have a family and you have children and you having to provide for them, and you constantly have to come to work every single day and deal with the attacks. When you're talking about command staff members going to other supervisors, telling them, hey, if you're friends with him, you probably don't want to hang with him or be seen with him because we got a target on his back. We're coming after him.
Mm-hmm.
Or being told that, hey, the chief said they're going to put him under this command member so they can take care of him because they're part of his little clique. That's their posse. So, that becomes very stressful when, you're out here every day putting your life on the line. That you need to have
And that's not even a cliche.
Right.
That's a realism
Right.
that you got. Is your father Daniel?
No.
Daniel Webster?
No.
Okay. I know.
I will say this, Kevin.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you for your service to this community. I've lived under the umbrella of your protection, and I've raised my family in this community with young men and young women like this, protecting me. And I think it's important for your audience to remember that this young man, this young woman, were out there nights, weekends, holidays, and bad weather, protecting our community and our children and our families and our homes. This is not the way we treat our people. This is not the way we treat our citizens. This is not the way we treat our employees. I am sorry. I am a big fan of the Montgomery Police Department in the city of Montgomery. I chose to live here. I chose to raise my family. I chose to have my business here. I chose to serve as a Montgomery police officer when I was a young man, after I got out of the military. I have an affinity for this department. And I'm like Steve, who the prior caller. We remember when this department was a brotherhood. We remember when this department in this city, we took care of each other because we were all we had.
Yeah.
And I am afraid for the citizens in this community, unless we right this ship, and this ship can be righted. We have good men and women in service to this community, to our department, and we have good men and women in leadership. But we also have problems in leadership that is going to take the voice of our citizens, the voices of our city council to stand up and to force leadership changes.
Let me take one more call for you before you guys go. Good morning, you on air. Morning.
Is that Maggie? Right.
Amen.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Is it getting to me?
Yeah.
Looking into me. Oh, yeah. We need to talk about
Okay. All right. Hey, appreciate your call. We only got like 1 minute left or so.
I'm sorry, there's one more thing you wanted to say?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So not only can I prove these allegations, I have over 100 text messages. But the one thing that is most fearful, that I'm truly, afraid of my life and my kids, and now, my blended family, that's gonna happen. But the chief, Daryl Albert, texted me in detail that he hired somebody to investigate me. An ex-cop from New Orleans came here to investigate me, to see who I was dating, where I live, how many kids I have, what my kids' fathers do, and came back in the text message saying these details.
Okay, we gotta go.
So how do you know when you gotta go?
I'm looking at the clock.
He has a clock. And,
Oh, okay, it's green.
Yes. Thank you for inviting us and spending some time with us.
I'm interested in part 2.
Well,
Yeah.
part 2's coming. Don't you worry. I'll send you a copy of the subpoena and the witness list.
Okay then.
And I'm going to have a timeline. We're going back to the office working on a timeline, and I'll get that to you.
Well, listen. As long as I am here, you always come up. Now I come to work tomorrow and the key don't work.